So one of the biggest obstacles to getting a good night's sleep is breaking the association that we have between our bed and tossing and turning. People don't realize that when they spend time in bed tossing and turning, or even just laying there awake, they're actually creating an association of being awake with the bed. So then when you lay down in bed, that association gets triggered and your body doesn't know what to do. Should I be sleeping in bed or should I be laying here awake? So how do we break this association? The most recommended way to break that association is through implementing what we call the 15-minute rule. So what does that mean? The 15-minute rule basically gives you a period of 15 minutes to fall back to sleep, or if you just lay down for the first time, to fall asleep initially. If you're able to fall asleep within 15 minutes, wonderful. Just go with that, right? But if you lay down and 15 minutes later you're still not sleeping, you look at the clock and you see, yeah, it's been about 17 minutes. The idea is we don't want to keep laying there and strengthening up that association. So the recommendation would be get out of bed and go do something else until you get sleepy. Once you notice yourself getting sleepy, then you can go back to bed and try again. But if the same thing happens, you have a hard time falling asleep within 15 minutes, then you would want to get up and repeat the same procedure all over again. And you would just keep doing this over and over again until you're able to fall asleep within 15 minutes. This is like training yourself or retraining yourself to fall asleep quickly. And another trick to this, it's very, very important, is some people might spend hours getting up, getting sleepy, going back to bed, failing at getting back to sleep, getting up, doing it all over again. And when their alarm goes off in the morning, they think, "Oh man, I barely even slept. I finally got to sleep at the very end of the night. Let me just take advantage of this and sleep in." That's the last thing you want to do, because if you sleep in, then you're not going to be that tired the next night. So get up at your regularly scheduled awake time and just go about your business. You're probably going to be exhausted. You might feel tempted to take a nap. But if you can just push through all the way until the nighttime, then what will happen is you go to bed at your normally scheduled sleep time, and you should be so exhausted that you sleep straight through the night. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but eventually you're going to retrain yourself to sleep through the night. So that's basically the 15-minute rule in a nutshell. Now, some people ask, well, what do I do when I get up because I wasn't able to fall back to sleep in 15 minutes? What do I do to get myself drowsy? Well, what I usually recommend is do something relaxing. You could watch an infomercial. You could, clean the dishes in the sink or whatever, if you find that relaxing. But one thing that can be really helpful for people is doing specifically a relaxation technique like mindfulness-based stress reduction, self-hypnosis, or one of the things that I like to recommend to people is something called heart math breathing. It's a very specific way of breathing that can relax you. And if you're doing something really relaxing or sedative, you're much more likely to get drowsy so that you can go back to sleep and fall asleep. 15-minute rule will help with breaking that habit of tossing and turning.